welcome to Media Canvas, a show in which I consume a piece of media and then review it. The first week, I'm going to start with one of my absolute favorites, and I would like to thank them for letting me use their theme music from their Root season for this review. Very Random Encounters is a show that has become my favorite podcast. An idea for a tabletop RPG that is super basic, and as the cast says, it's a show where they randomize as much as possible, including names, places, and other stuff. This creates a dynamic that lets the show thrive on the creativity of the cast. To round out the randomness and create fully fleshed out characters and worlds. Each season starts a new adventure with the character creation and a small introduction to the characters they have pieced together. Before I get more into the show itself, I want to mention the cast of the show. I was introduced to 3 of these individuals on other podcasts, showing me more personality than what I have gleaned from this show alone. Wheels, Logan, and Greg were individuals I had already found entertaining to listen to and feel like this show is a creative outlet for them that shows in the stories they tell as the game master. I was not familiar with Lee before listening to this podcast, and she brings a lot of wonderful character interactions that add depth to the story. You can tell that the 4 of them have a great time creating the show. They put a blooper or extra at the end of each episode, and many times it is filled with laughter as one of them takes something off the rails or something technical happens that creates an issue, and while it's funny, it doesn't necessarily fit with the narrative of the show, but they include it, and it definitely shows their individual personalities more. As far as gameplay goes, this is not the show for someone who is trying to get an understanding of how any of these games are played. While they talk about a variety of mechanics, they are more like notes in the margin of a book to help the audience understand what is going on. They will mention when a roll of the dice is made and the result of said roll, which is plenty to help inform the listener. Understanding the roll itself and the exact number for hits, success, failure, misses, and other outcomes is not a part of the show itself. Knowing that they are using the mechanics of the game to roll for an outcome is all that we need, as this prevents the story from taking a backseat to the game mechanics of whatever game they are currently playing. The stories have been told across the 9 seasons and 7 mini-seasons. Now, they're self-contained and altogether wonderful. Each member of the cast has taken the role of storyteller as the game master. From the fantasy setting we all expect to see in tabletop games, to outer space, we are taking on adventure with the cast. And, well, you know what to expect. The end is always fantastic. They work together as players and game master to create investment in the characters for the listener. I've many times found myself caring about the characters in the same way I do while sitting and reading a good book or watching a movie. They all do a fantastic job creating a cohesive campaign out of a disparate set of random rolls. That all being said, not every piece works completely in all of the seasons. There have been a few situations where I felt like a piece was tacked on to the plot with duct tape, just because they rolled it and had to include it. No matter what you like to see in the characters for media you consume, you are bound to find a favorite in this show. They have an amazing array of character types they get to explore across different games and seasons. From tropes you would expect to see in a given setting to some bizarre and fantastic outliers. I would be remiss if I did not mention the show's fantastic representation for the LGBTQ community. When looking for a role-playing game podcast, there are a few important things to make a show stand out. A cast that has a fantastic chemistry with one another and sound like they're genuinely having a good time. while making the show. Characters that are engaging, fun, and last of all, a fantastic story. Very Random Encounters accomplishes all of these things. I highly recommend giving it a listen, as I give the show a perfect 5 out of 5. Thank you for listening and or watching my review, and next time I'm going to review a television show. Thanks again to the cast of Very Random Encounters for permitting me to use their theme music for this review. Until next time.